Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just gave up in the middle of this, I guess.
How far in the middle? We'll just start from the beginning. We need a continuous shot.
Yeah, it's necessary.
Okay.
I don't know why it gave up. Whenever my computer or my phone gave up on shit, but I haven't really recorded much with it, so I apologize.
It happens.
I'm
Okay.
over here trying to get
Alright.
the free man.
That's enough of that. Into the story.
It's very important. Is it gonna record while you've got the thing in front?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course it will.
It's recording from this, not from the box.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's okay. Forbiden Fruit, The Temptation of Edward Cullen. Author's note. Hi guys, hope you like this one. I'm quite proud of it. Thanks for the support from my friends. Love you girls, glad you like it. Oh, and Vincent, you're so dumb. Of course Tia didn't go to math in only her bra. She's not a total ditz. One more time. Don't read if you didn't like it. No frickin' flams. What is the point of flamming people? There is no point, so F off.
Is that a dessert?
Yes.
Okay.
Chapter 3. Uncle Larry. I sat alone watching TV at Dave and Mary's house. I couldn't stop thinking about my encounter with Utered Cullen earlier that day. He was so beautiful and sexoid with such amazing hair and eyes. I could hardly believe he had noticed someone like me. But I was angry at how he made me feel. How I'd burnt like crimson hot flame when he touched me, and how he'd not listened to me when I'd told him to fring off, and how he dared to touch me at all when he had a GF anyways, even if she was a mean girl with an ugly heart and not that hat. But no matter how much I tried to hate him, I simply couldn't. Suddenly the phone rang. Hello? Hey. Is this Altantiana? Yeah. Who's this? I asked. It's Mike Newton from your class. I was wondering if you wanted to go to La Push with me tomorrow night, maybe? There's a party on the beach with a whole crowd of us going, and I thought you seemed really nice, so I thought maybe you'd want to be my date, please? Aren't you the guy who hangs out with all the pathetic cheerleaders and stuff? I asked. You mean Bellica?
Bellica?
Bellica? You mean Bella and Jessica's gang? Sometimes, I guess, but they're way shallow and not as hot as you, and they can be mean sometimes. Then why do you hang out with them, then, you shallow creep? And why are you asking me out when you hardly know me, Mike? 'Cause you think I'm hot? Why can't you see you're just as shallow if you want to date someone just cost of what they look like? I'm not that pretty anyways. And even if I was, I'm so screwed up in the brand you can't even imagine. You would no want to date me if you knew how screwed up I was. I would, Tia. Believe me, I would. You're so beautiful you can't even imagine. You're so pretty people lose their minds when you're around and forget their names and forget to breath. How can't you have noticed that? And I don't care how screwed up you are. It only makes you more interesting. You're cool and different and you're honest about stuff. You're right to be angry with me. I'm sorry for benign, shallow, and dumb. Just give me a chance to show you how much I care, please? Well, okay. Maybe I'll go along if I don't have anything else to do, I said, not believing a word he said about how pretty I was. Thank you, Altantiana. Thank you so much. He sounded so happy I couldn't help but smile as I put the phone down, but my smile faded as I returned to my thoughts. Mike Newton was kinda cute and seemed like an okay guy, but he was nothing next to Utered Cullen. Even though I was angrier with Edward than I have ever been with anyone in my life, and part of me wanted to chop his head off with a saw, a part of my soul would always remain in that corridor where we had kissed so hard and passionately. I creamed myself. My heart had soared that day like never before, and I knew that no one else would ever make me feel like that again. Then I thought how he was a cheater and a bastard, and my face burnt with shame. I couldn't believe I had behaved like such a whore.
H-O-R-E. Whore.
I was scared of the affect he had on me. Bye, Tia! We'll be back on Thursday, okay? Mary put her head around the door suddenly. Okay then, have fun, I whispered clammily. Dave and Mary were visiting relatives for a few days. You look so pretty, she says, smiling. You're the prettiest girl I've ever seen. OMG, whatever, I reply. I hated it when people say that. I pulled my blonde hair over my face. I was wearing a short hot pink dress cut low with the black lace frills at the bottom and black lace stocking.
Just one stocking.
Just one.
Just one.
Dave's brother Larry will be looking after you while we're gone. You'll be okay when we're gone, won't you, Tia? I hate to leaving you alone like this. I don't need a frickin' babysitter, you know. It was so embarrassing. I could look after myself. Mary smiles and leaves the house. Greeting, eh? laughed Nanny Anna. My name's Uncle Larry, said Uncle Larry. He came in, through the door. He was fat and bowed, with tiny black eyes and a red face. Hey, I said. You're the orphan, aren't you? He says. Is it true you killed your mother when she gave birth to you? What? I cry, my eyes filling with tears. You're an evil bitch, aren't you? Go outside and wash my car, he shouts angrily. I stood up and left to wash his car. I got soap and a bucket. No water. Afraid of what he would do if I refused. I went outside and started to wash Hush's car. It was a red Porsche. He came outside and watched me, and I knew he was watching me. After a my night, he came over and hit me hard across the face. WFT! I shouted. WFT. He poured the bucket of water all over me and hit me again. I was wet and crying, and he started to rip my dress and bra of me and rip my clothes. He touched my naked breeks, and I tried to push him off me. I screamed at him to stop, but he didn't. He bent me over the bonnet of his car and spanked me on the ass for half an hour. Then he pulled my panties down and started to rape me. Stop raping me! I cry. But he didn't stop. The pain was terrible, even tough his manhood was small. I cried and cried, but he didn't stop for hours, and when he finally stopped, he left me on the floor and spat in my face and left me there. I pulled on my clothes and cried madly and ran off into the seething darkness of the midnight street. I ran and ran until I came to some woods, and then I fell down in the woods and cried. Suddenly a blast of white light exploded in head, and my mark on my hand burned like a flame. I closed my eyes and saw the face of a tall white man looking over me with no expression. His eyes were burning red, and his face glimmered cold as bright as the moon. I fell back from the brightness of his body. His hair was dark as night. Atlantiana? He whispered in a voice softer than clouds. My daughter? OMG, I whispered, as my mind went blank and the world went dark.
Because, the first thing I would say if I was seeing my father for the first time, I would say, OMG. And then the world would go dark.
Dark.
Mind went blank. World dark.
OMG.